Finnish classical music. It has only been around for roughly 200 years, but in that time has impacted Finnish nationalism massively and helped them gain their independence from Russia in 1917. So how did composers like Sibelius inspire so many with their music, and how has it affected Finns today? To answer that question, you must go back into the past and discover what happened in Finland over 100 years ago. Let's start in the middle of the 19th century. Finland was under Russian rule as an autonomous Grand Duchy, which meant it was owned by Russia, but they could govern themselves. The famine of 1866-68 meant that Russia reduced its financial regulations against Finland. During this century, Finnish nationalism began to spread, with the release of Kalevala in 1835, a book of myths and legends about Finland. The Finnish language gained equal status with Swedish in 1892, and universal suffrage in 1906 meant that everybody could vote. At this point, Russia tried to restrict Finland's autonomy, souring their relationship. The desire for independence grew, with Sibelius's Kullervo becoming increasingly popular. It was described as Finnish music by Juho Kanta, one of the chorus members. Sibelius's tours helped spread his music across Finland and soon became what is now described as the sound of Finland. I wanted to learn more about Sibelius's surroundings, the beautiful area which inspired him, and the poets whose words he was inspired by. I travelled to Runeberg's cottage, just outside of Jakobstad, to see for myself where the inspiration came from.
So this is Runeberg's cottage where he used to do quite a lot of his writing, and just looking around you can see where he got so much of inspiration from, like Jägargossen, the young huntsman, when he's wishing for winter so he can see the birds in the trees, and it's just absolutely beautiful. You can really tell why he wrote this beautiful poetry which inspired Sibelius so much.
Runeberg is Finland's national poet, the author of their national anthem, and a Finland Swede, meaning most of his writings are written in Swedish. He was taught alongside Elias Lönnrot, who compiled the epic Kalevala. They both went on to make great impacts when creating Finland's national identity. Jakobstad is a small town on the western coast of Finland, home to predominantly Finland Swedes with a thriving musical community, a clear indication of Finland's national identity. With Campus Allegro in the centre of the town, there are ample opportunities for musicians alike, especially with Schauman Concert Hall. I went to speak to local musicians about how Sibelius and Finland's independence has shaped classical music for them. I went to the Black Sheep, a local bar which hosts music events regularly and a regular hangout for students at the college.
So how has Sibelius impacted you, or how do you feel it has impacted Finland and its nationalism when it's being the 100th anniversary?
Well, I mean, his piece Finlandia, you know, the lyrics and the music itself is really powerful and really somehow like resonates with, at least with me, and obviously like a lot of the population in Finland.
Yeah.
And personally, if someone performs it very well and you feel like someone performs it the way he intended it to, I feel like, or personally, like I get a tear or two, you know, streaming down my face.
It hits home.
It hits home, yeah. I mean, of course, he hasn't affected my life personally, but his is really a national, like cultural heritage.
Fantastic, thank you. But there was something else. When speaking to musicians, I discovered there was a darker side to Finland, and that is the discrimination against Finland Swedes. Finland Swedes make up about 5% of the population and are based in the western region of Finland. Their first language is Swedish, and they tend to celebrate Swedish holidays, like St. Lucia. Finland Swedes don't usually get much publicity as a minority in Finland, but when they do, it is generally negative. I spoke to Maria, Thomas and Maka, Finland Swedes and musicians, to see how it affects the industry and the differences between Swedish and Finnish music.
The cultures are very different. Really different.
Yes.
Do you find that the music's different at all, or?
Yeah, it's all the rhythms and where it's from. I think its history is really different. So we have come from Sweden, and the rhythms and folk music is really different.
Affected by Sweden. It's Swedish music.
The pop culture is very different.
Yeah.
Because as somebody said already, we get our culture and influences from Sweden. And the Finnish speaker maybe from the east, maybe Russian.
Yes.
A little bit this melancholic style, and the texts are more, should I say, not dark, but we are more like Swedish guys.
Happy melodies.
More optimistic.
Happy, like
Well, you can argue with some of Runeberg's poetry, they were quite dark.
Yeah, but that was.
But I think
because
that
of the time.
Sibelius, for instance, has united
and he
the
was
people
Swedish
of
speaking
Finland.
Yes.
also.
He was, yeah.
He
Yeah.
has united. And with music, I wouldn't say that it's so divided. Like
Okay.
music people are music. We don't care about language.
True.
Sibelius united the people of Finland with his first big-scale work, Kullervo. He was hailed a national hero of Finland, inspired by old Nordic folk tales and the beautiful landscapes of Finland. But little is said in the UK about his vocal works, which were composed alongside these epic pieces. Why is that? Was it the language barrier? The uncompromising piano parts? Whatever the reason, Sibelius's vocal music seems to be lost in the ever-growing library of vocal music, which to me is an absolute tragedy. Sibelius's songs display passion, darkness, and uniqueness, touching into different worlds of sound, whether it be the chromaticism of Schoenberg or the warm lieder tradition. Sibelius brings out something different in each of his pieces, all while retaining his Nordic characteristics. On the 6th of December 1917, the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Finnish Parliament, making Finland its own independent country. The 100th anniversary was celebrated with the theme Together, which I find very prevalent. Whether you are a Finn, a Finland Swede, a musician, or a spectator, I think we can all agree that music, and Sibelius's music, unites us together as Finland.